Number 6. Percy Buttons. I have just moved to a house in Bridge Street. Yesterday, a beggar knocked at my door. He asked me for a meal and a glass of beer. In return for this, the beggar stood on his head and sang many songs. I gave him the meal. He ate the food and drank the beer. Then he put a piece of cheese in his pocket and went away. Later, a neighbor told me about him. Everybody knows him, he told me. His name is Percy Buttons. He calls at every house in the street once a month and always asks for a meal and a glass of beer. Number 7. Too late. The plane was late, and detectives had been waiting at the airport all morning long. They were expecting a valuable parcel of diamonds from South Africa. A few hours earlier, someone had told the police that thieves would try to steal the diamonds. When the plane arrived, some of the detectives were waiting inside the main building, while others were waiting on the airfield. Two men took the parcel off the plane and carried it out to the customs office. While two detectives were keeping guard at the door, two others opened the parcel. To their surprise, the precious parcel was full of stones and sand. Number 8. The best and the worst. Joe Sanders has the most beautiful garden in our town. Nearly everybody enters for the nicest garden competition each year. But Joe wins every time. Bill Fritz's garden is larger than Joe's. Bill works harder than Joe and grows more flowers and more vegetables. But Joe's garden is more interesting. He has made neat paths and has built a wooden bridge over a pool. I like gardens too, but I do not like hard work. Every year I enter for the garden competition too, and I always win a little prize for the worst garden in the town. Number 9. A cold welcome. On Wednesday evening, we went to the town hall. It was the last day of the year, and a large crowd of people had gathered under the town hall clock. It would strike 12 in 20 minutes' time. 15 minutes passed, and then at 5 to 12, the clock stopped. The big minute hand did not move anymore. We waited and waited, but nothing happened. Suddenly someone shouted, "It's 2 minutes past 12. The clock has stopped." I looked at my watch. It was true. The big clock refused to welcome the new year. At that moment, everybody began to laugh and sing. Number 10. Not for jazz. We have an old musical instrument. It is called a clavichord. It was made in Germany in 1681. Our clavichord is kept in the living room. It has belonged to our family for a long, long time. The instrument was bought by my grandfather many years ago. Recently, it was damaged by a visitor. She tried to play jazz on it. She struck the keys too hard, and two of the strings were broken. My father was shocked. Now we're not allowed to touch it, because it is being repaired by a friend of my father's. Number 11. One good turn deserves another. I was having dinner at a restaurant when Harry Steele came in. Harry worked in a lawyer's office years ago, but now he is working at a bank. He gets a good salary, but he always borrows money from his friends and never pays it back. Harry saw me, and he came and sat at the same table. He has never borrowed money from me. While he was eating, I asked him to lend me £2. To my surprise, he gave me the money immediately. I have never borrowed any money from you, Harry said, so now you can pay for my dinner. Number 12. Goodbye and good luck. Our neighbor, Captain Charles Allison, will sail from Portsmouth tomorrow. We shall meet him at the harbor early in the morning. He will be in his small boat, Topsail. Topsail is a famous little boat because it has sailed across the Atlantic many times. Captain Allison will set out at 8 o'clock, so we shall have plenty of time. We shall see his boat and then we shall say goodbye to him. He will be away for 2 months. We are very proud of him because he will take part in an important race across the Atlantic. 13. The Greenwood Boys. The Greenwood Boys are a group of popular singers. At present, they are visiting all parts of the country. They will be arriving here tomorrow. They will be coming by train, and most of the young people in the town will be meeting them at the station. Tomorrow evening, they will be singing at the Workers' Club. The Greenwood Boys will be staying for 5 days. During this time, they will give 5 performances. As usual, the police will have a difficult time. They will be trying to keep order. It is always the same on these occasions. 14. Do you speak English? I had an amusing experience last year. After I had left a small village in the south of France, I drove on to the next town. On the way, a young man waved to me. I stopped and he asked me for a lift. As soon as he had got into the car, I said good morning to him in French, and he replied in the same language. Apart from a few words, I do not know any French at all. Neither of us spoke during the journey. I had nearly reached the town when the young man suddenly said very slowly, "Do you speak English?" As I soon learned, he was English himself. Number 15. Good news. The secretary told me that Mr. Harmsworth wanted to see me. I felt very nervous when I entered into his office. He did not look up from his desk when I entered. After I had sat down, he said that business was going very bad. He told me that the company could not afford to pay such big salaries anymore. 20 people had already been fired. I knew then that my turn had come. "Mr. Harmsworth," I said in a low voice. "Do not interrupt," he said. Then he smiled and told me that I would receive an extra £100 a year.